Morning, everyone. Dr. Eric, the fitness physician, where I talk about all things related to hormonal fitness, muscle medicine, and much more. I'm all about health and performance optimization. I was doing a series on the metabolic changes as in aging humans. It was a research review paper that I was reviewing. I've done it in multiple stages. Basically talks about what happens with our metabolism as we age, what happens with our body as we age, and how metabolism is related to lifestyle, activity, and so much more. So this is one of the final steps is that, and we're talking about central obesity is the biggest issue. And a lot of this comes down to insulin resistance, right? We have with insulin resistance, there's an increase in central obesity or visceral fat, that deep, dangerous fat underneath the skin. And concomitantly, typically, there's also a decrease in activity. So one of the core tenets in this paper was that as we get older, we tend to develop more visceral fat and we become less active. As we get older, we become less active. And then that increases visceral fat, which makes us less active. And it's a vicious cycle, right? And this is what happens when you get any visceral fat. There's a lot of inflammatory cytokines and enzymes that are created, which can affect your body, create more insulin resistance, more inflammation throughout the body, more disease processes. And again, it's like a bit of a vicious cycle. So if you're overeating and you're less active, slowly this accumulates. So you start getting visceral fat and you're less active. So you start getting mitochondrial dysfunction, you start getting disease, you get aching joints, you get a belly, you're getting some fatigue, and then that makes you less active, then that makes you get more visceral fat. And again, it's a vicious cycle. So again, as we talked about over time, as we get older, unfortunately, there's a decrease in mitochondrial function from toxins, stressors, lack of sleep, genetic defects, just time, the mutations that accumulate over years and years and years. And of course, this affects energy production, which can, again, affect activity and affect our ability to metabolize fuels, which can lead to insulin resistance, more reactive oxygen species, more inflammation, and again, another vicious cycle. Also, as we get older, we get accumulation of liver fat and actually a decrease in liver size. So we are starting to get a fatty liver. Like I said, like you gotta think of that marbled steak that we all like to eat, right? We get that in our liver if we get too much fat, if we're eating too much processed foods, too much fried food, processed foods, seed oils, etc. And then you get dysfunction in the liver, which is massively important for pretty much everything in our body, right? And that can lead to more insulin resistance, more visceral fat, and again, the cycle continues. You can see a pattern here. And with aging, the satellite cells in our muscles start to become less active, and more dysfunctional. We start getting less activity, and we need those satellite cells. Satellite cells are basically like stem cells in the muscle. They help our muscles to regenerate. And as I practice muscle medicine, we want those active. We want to keep our muscle and build muscle as we get older, because otherwise it's going to deteriorate. As our muscle deteriorates, we lose our ability to handle blood sugar, to handle metabolism, and again, this is a topic for a lecture for another day, but muscle does so much for our body in keeping us healthy and reducing that inflammation, reducing that insulin resistance that we can develop. So it's a double whammy. We're accumulating fat, inflammation, and reactive oxygen species, and we're losing muscle unless we fight this. So how do we fix this? And then again, this is a whole like an hour lecture, but in general, of course, we all know the importance of strength training. Again, muscle medicine, our practice, we want adequate intake of protein and amino acids and strength training to build and maintain our muscle mass. This is so freaking important that I pound this into my patients' heads that we have to do this. We have to maintain our muscle mass, because that's going to help everything. It's going to help you burn the fat. It's going to keep the mitochondria functioning, keep the satellite cells, keep our insulin sensitivity high, and it's going to keep that visceral fat off, and it's going to keep us young, healthy, and strong. Caloric restriction can help as well. Again, not everybody likes to do this, but it can be helpful to regenerate those muscles and the stem cells. Again, caloric restriction, fasting, intermittent fasting, time-restricted feeding, etc., can help to rejuvenate by improving autophagy, clearing out all the dead, deficient cells, and helping our body to build new ones. So it can be very helpful. It doesn't have to be done every single day, but every now and then, or even minimally, can be helpful to help regenerate tissue and help to build new, strong tissues. Again, we want to decrease visceral fat, right? And there's many ways to do this. Again, with caloric restriction, strength training, adequate diet, nutraceuticals, hormone optimization. I use every day with my patients to reduce visceral fat. What hormones reduce visceral fat? Almost all of them. Growth hormone optimization, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone, thyroid, DHEA. We have to optimize them, and everyone starts to lose them as we get older, especially in the toxic world that we live in. So hormone optimization is massively important to fix this. And then, of course, I use peptide therapies as well to get rid of this nasty thing right here, this visceral fat, right? We have other tons of nutraceuticals, which I'll talk about in the future. Of course, everybody knows about amino acids, leucine, HMB, can be helpful, ursolic acid. I use oxytocin and peptides and various other compounds, nutraceuticals to help them build muscle mass as we get older. Young, healthy people don't not always need these. They just eat a lot of protein and work out, right? But as we get older, we have to start pulling out some of these other tips and tricks. So again, targeted nutraceuticals, small molecules, hormones, and peptide therapy can be very effective for this. But the biggest thing is, again, muscle mass. And we want to build that muscle up and keep that visceral fat off and keep our activity level high. This is what changes if we don't do this. If we don't do these things, we're going to get less active. We're going to start accumulating visceral fat. And again, you'll get that vicious cycle. So we want to stop that. So that was the core 10 of this. And I'm going to put some infographics on my social media. So I hope you like this. Please like and share this. And reach out to me if you want to work with me. I'm doing telemedicine all across the country, optimizing my patients' health, lives, strength, and physique everywhere. So drericprimax.com or primexweightloss.com. Please like and share this post and comment below if you'd like to, what else you would like me to talk about. Let me know what you thought of these videos, this video series, and if you'd like me to continue. So again, like and share this post, comment below what you liked about this video series. Everybody have a rocking day. Remember, live to give, do something nice for someone, and pass it forward. Everyone have a good day. We'll talk to you soon.